dependent on the state. And yet now, with many jobs under threat, the topic is once again on the table. In Berlin, a private crowdfunding project offers people the chance to win a basic income. The Canadian government also wants to start a project in Ontario. And next year, several hundred people will start to receive a basic income in the Finnish capital Helsinki. In 2008, a basic income experiment began in Ochivero, a village in Namibia. Its goal was to fight poverty and create jobs. We first went there in 2010.
Frida Nimbuaya set up this little bakery using money she was given without strings attached. We first visited her in Ochivero back in 2010.
I always had the idea for this business in my head, but I didn't earn enough money on the farm where I worked. But then I decided I just couldn't go on like that. So I came here. I had nothing, and things were very bad for us. When the big project started, I could put my idea into practice, and I worked hard at it.
There are countless villages like Ochivero in Namibia. The test project, BIG, or Basic Income Grant, began in January 2008. 930 villagers received a grant of $100 Namibian per person per month. At the time, this equated to around €9. Joseph Ganeb invested the money in cement to make bricks. The income from his business put food on the table and sent his children to school. He wanted to expand and employ people. So how did things turn out for the people of Ochivero? After 6 years, we've come back to revisit the village. The project's donors wanted to see Ochivero become a model for the rest of Namibia. The country is politically stable and rich in natural resources, but a third of the population still lives below the poverty line. The project aimed to demonstrate how an unconditional basic income system can create more jobs. International donations came from a range of organizations, including several German churches. Other funds came from within Namibia. The payments became increasingly irregular though, and by April 2015 the money had completely run out. Before that, things had begun to change. The extra income meant 90% of the children could go to school. Now many of the parents tell us they can't afford the school fees anymore. Prospects dwindled for everyone, but for young people in particular. Residents tell us that while they were receiving BIG, as they refer to it, there was less violence too. We call in on Joseph Ganeb. Is he still running his business? What's life like for him now?
When BIG was around, I was always selling bricks. But now that we don't get the grant money anymore, now that the project's dried up, I can't do it anymore. I spend the little money I do earn on my children. I can't buy cement at the moment.
We ask about the future.
My plans for the future? I need to carry on with my project and keep expanding.
I'm sick, and now there's no money and I can't afford the medicine, the pills I need. It's tough.
It's really hard without BIG. We have no work. We lived off it.
If we still had BIG, I could have built my house. I don't understand why the money stopped.
Many residents share that disappointment. No other benefactors have been found and the government hasn't stepped in to finance the project. visit Frida Nimwaya. Is she still making bread as she was doing in her shop 6 years ago?
People buy a lot from me, but I just don't have the materials and ingredients, and I don't have a kneading machine. I have to do everything by hand, and that means I can't make enough bread for the whole community. But I do have good customers.
She had a plan, but now the money stopped, she can't go through with it.
Have no prospect of work. That's reality for millions of people today, even in Europe. Unemployment figures are sky high throughout southern parts of the continent. A good education used to be a guarantee for a well-paid job, but now occasional work is all millions of qualified young people can hope for. In Greece, the job market has been devastated by the debt crisis. At over 23%, unemployment is the highest in Europe. In that atmosphere, it's hard to remain positive.
In Greece today, most people have a sad story to tell about the financial crisis, but not these two.
You cannot staying and crying all the time. You have to be a little optimistic because life is now.
Everybody was like, you are crazy. What are you talking about to create something now? And now, that's the best moment. Because now, during crisis, this is 0 point. This is the bottom line. Now we can go up. Create something.
What they achieved has its roots in this tree, the Armoriki.
Armoriki is a tree that can survive under very difficult circumstances in a salty water and climate near the sea. Every person that knows Armoriki tree usually has an experience under that tree, an experience of rest, of calm, of sleep, of cool thoughts.
And the Greek summer.
And all those in the Greek summer.
Christina and Konstantinos moved from pricey Athens to Nafplio, a seaport and popular tourist destination 140 kilometers away. In March 2016, they opened a t-shirt shop and named it Armoriki.
It didn't have anything to do with t-shirts, with brands, with design communication, with brand identity.
The founders started up without a bank loan or money from their family. This is all uncharted territory for the couple, both trained in other fields.
I studied civil engineer. I went then to Seattle, University of Washington for a master's degree. And you?
And I studied economically in the Technology Institution of Thessaloniki. My studies are good, not many studies. I used to work in a bank and I saw many things.
Things involving people in dire financial straits. Christina became disillusioned with the conventional banking sector, as did many of the individuals running the companies they now supply with orders. The owners of this print shop only recently started up their business.
We started off with no money at all. You don't need them to get started. Maybe you needed to develop, okay, but after you've started, money comes, you know, usually.
We searched a lot. We searched a lot. As in every part, it was very difficult to find very good people to their job, but especially to trust us, because we didn't have any experience. But then we found Fazing, this team, and step by step, we created a relationship between us for this project.
They've produced about 2,000 t-shirts so far. Here's where the labels are made. This company creates a huge range of product tags to help establish a brand's identity, vital for the many new firms founded since the financial crisis.
To make something special, you have to put your soul. That's the main thing. And when you put your soul, you put things that you like. So for us, when we search for all the parts of the production line, we search for the best parts because we believe that through time we can create the circumstances that this product can survive.
Finding the right design is critical. They only realized this after they began production, so they had to partner up with an agency.
Joshua and Costas, somehow they were in the same stage like us. They gained their independence, they created something by themselves a few times before. They were open to new things.
They're currently developing a website with a database that shows where Amariki's customers are located. After only 6 months, their t-shirts can be found around the world. A success story in the midst of a crisis.
The crisis in itself is already related to a creative process at a certain level, which is obviously something very ambiguous to say because probably you need also material to actually be creative, but with less material you could be more creative sometimes. And I think that's what concerns also the identity for Amariki.
Right now, they don't have much more than their own determination. The money they set aside to start the business didn't last long, so they had to have faith in themselves.
We have a vision, a personal vision, to create something. Even to the worst circumstances, we want to show that you can do something different and you can move on. And you know, people just need this, somebody to tell them that you can do it, to see it to your eyes, and they get the energy that is needed to do it, and they will do it. This is missing today.
The snack comes from Israel.
Tel Aviv, Israel's bustling commercial capital. It's Friday and there's still time to take care of some final errands before the sun goes down, marking the beginning of the Sabbath or Shabbat. Observant Jews may not perform any kind of work on Shabbat, which lasts until after sunset on Saturday. They pray in the synagogue and eat a traditional meal. For fresh ingredients, the Carmel market is a popular destination. The Shabbat meal is typically prepared by the women in the family on Thursday, sometimes even as early as Wednesday. Tel Avivians wanting to avoid the stress of preparing food come to Grandma's Snack Bar for a Shabbat takeout.
The women who cook here are the grandmothers of the owners and the owners themselves. This is why they call the place Grandmommy cooking place. And people feel like it's the food they do by themselves. And this is the reason it's always full and people are coming from all the city to buy the food here.
This woman buys all her ready-made food here.
If you want to buy food for Shabbat, you don't need to work all the day in the kitchen. You make everything. You come here, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and you have dinner for Shabbat.
Well, it's good, it's very food, kosher, very kosher.
Jews who keep kosher can shop here with a clear conscience.
I think if you, like a couple, you want a dinner for Shabbat, in 100 shekel you can make a good dinner.
Leah shows us her purchases. She's bought couscous because she's Moroccan and that's what they eat at her house. Same with the meat dish. And this one looks so tasty, with meat and peppers and pasta. And then she's bought salmon, which she eats every Shabbat.
So we have 10 different kind of fish and 20 kind of meatballs, chicken balls, fish balls, vegetable things, rice, potato, pasta.
With so so much to choose from, it can be difficult to make up your mind. But one dish stands out as a crowd favorite. It's a real bestseller.
And we have a knops here. We have a meatball that I like very much.
Tzitzot?
Why?
This is the best food. Tzitzot. It's beef with vegetables and the sauce together. You eat it.